we're taking off like rockets. Picking up speed like NASCAR is what we're doing here on the 10th floor. Because I don't know if you've ever been to a race, Mom, but it's like when they're on the far side of the track, it's like, okay, you know, a little car rumble. But when they pass by you, it's like, choo choo, choo, boom.
I don't know about all that, but I've been to a lot of dirt track races in my time at the fairgrounds. I've been to all that.
Well, we're zooming all the way up to the 10th floor, Ma, and it's not just us. Okay, it's never just us. All right, we got a full elevator always. Laura is back. Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Chandra, of course, holding the doors open, setting everything up. We got tables.
She put a foot out for you.
Tablecloths.
She'd put a foot out.
Yeah,
She'd even take an injury for you.
She would.
Put a foot out
She'd
for you on that
sacrifice her
door.
foot to make sure that it stays open for everybody. Sendis is here. Hi, Sendis. Lola's mom, Liz Jeannie. Hi. And anybody else hanging out there in the rafters, just come on. Just say hello. Send a little reaction. Click the little heart button. Let us know you're here. Hi. We're going to talk about General Hospital. That's what we do here on the 10th floor.
We do.
If you're brand new, welcome. Hi, hello. Get onto the elevator. We're going up to the 10th floor. We're going to get off the elevator. We're going to step off the elevator on the 10th floor. We're going to look left, and we're going to see the abandoned hallways of General Hospital. We're going to look to the right and see nobody hanging out in the nurses' station because we haven't been to General Hospital in like a month.
I know.
Have you noticed that?
Nobody's sick of Port Charles anymore.
Have you noticed that though? Like we haven't. When was the last time we had the hospital set? Was it this week? And I just forgot.
The last time we were at the hospital set was with Finn.
Finn having his breakdowns. So that was a good 2 weeks ago already, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's been a long time since we've been on the hospital set. Isn't that weird?
I know. The 10th floor is getting lonely.
10th floor, like no specialists are up there. Everybody's fine. Nobody's injured. Nobody's hurt. Nobody's sick. It's just nobody around. It's a ghost
time
hospital.
To put in a couple of days, put in a PTO request. Perfect right now at the General Hospital.
So I'm thinking like, okay, so realistically, logistically of television show creation, why would you keep people off of the only set that is always up? I can think of one reason, and only one reason. It's not creativity. It's not because we don't have plans or stories that's set in the hospital. It's because they're doing something to that set.
You think so?
They might be.
Who knows?
Why else would they have to be on there? It blows my mind that they wouldn't have a single, I'm walking down the hallways, Jason bumps into Liz to talk about something in the hallways of GH rather than being on her house, you know? You know what I mean?
Well, now that he knows his son's going to give him a big old, hey, you doing, daddy, and a big old hug, he can knock on the door anytime.
Anytime he wants. Now, I will give it to Jason this week, okay? Jason said all the right stuff. He did. He wanted to slide that check underneath the door, and Elizabeth was like, nah, buddy, you come in here and you be a daddy. All right?
You be you. Get your ass.
You come in here and you be a father. Oh, Sindis, no. Sindis was worried that they're dismantling the hospital set. That's definitely not the case. That thing is so stuck into the soundstage that it would require such work to pull it down. Like, honestly.
That stuff ain't on rollers, you guys.
No, that stuff is up.
That stuff is like cemented down.
Yeah, it's bolted, cemented down. It's painted onto the walls permanently. Like, in order for them to dismantle the set entirely and decide, we're just going to roll in the hospital whenever we feel like it, is just not an endeavor that GH can do. It's just not set up that way. They would have to change a lot more than just that one set.
They would have to change a lot more. It doesn't look, the set of the hospital, you guys, at the 10th floor station, it doesn't look like a set. It looks like a permanent fixture. It really does.
Yeah. They built themselves a legitimate hospital room. Yeah. Like the nurse's station itself is anchored into the ground. It's not on rollers, So it would be quite the endeavor for them. You know how
those stairs look pretty permanent as well, even though they lead to nothing.
Oh, they're 100% permanent, 1,000% permanent. Absolutely. Even the facelift that they gave to Bobby's wasn't much of a facelift. They changed the name from Bobby's to Kelly's. It looks like they may have replaced.
Took the jukebox out.
Yeah,
that was
took
about
the jukebox out. They changed the name on the napkins and on the sign. It looks like they might have bought some new tablecloths that were a little more vibrant. but it's still the same green, it's still the same set, it's still the same everything. So I doubt it. I doubt they're going to be doing anything major. If they're even doing something at all, it could just be a creative choice.
But the only permanent set, you guys, is the 10th floor nurses station. That's the only permanent set on the soundstage.
Yeah. And they just shoot at different angles in order to get into the hospital room or into a hallway or at the elevators or at the nurse's station. It's just where you put the camera and what you hide off of the frame.
Mm-hmm.
So
the magic of television.
The magic of television. And it's not very big. Well, the hospital set is pretty big, but everything else is a lot smaller than you would think.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of optic illusion going on with distance.
But we haven't been there. We haven't been at the hospital in a while. We might be soon. Who knows who's going to, fall down, bump his head before he can go to art school,
It seems that way, doesn't it?
So there's a couple of things, and I tweeted about this. Follow us at 10th Floor GH on Twitter, on X, for a little bit of weekly insight that we provide during the week before the podcast. But based on his conversation he had with Danny about the accident itself, and then a conversation Jason has with Jake about, well, you're at a crossroads in your life, just like I was, My life totally changed at about your age. I made some decisions about my trajectory, and then bumped my noggin. He left that part out, but he was going to college, med school. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to follow in my daddy's footsteps. Smashed his head. Now he's, Sonny's right-hand man.
Jason was very much the good kid, wasn't he?
Very much the good kid.
Son. So back in the day, they really painted, Jason was the good kid, and AJ was the messed up bad seed.
Yep. And he's still
the way they painted it.
AJ was pretty much the bad seed too until like the last 2 months of his life. He's trying to put his demons behind. He put the bottle down, and Sonny shot him.
AJ actually, and last time AJ's return, and his demise there in Ava's condo, where that dastardly Sonny killed him. His last run, he wasn't bad.
No, he was trying to be good. He was trying to be a good daddy to Michael.
He didn't even fall off the wagon.
No. He put that bottle down and he left it far behind.
He was trying to make up, and he was trying really desperately to have a good relationship with Michael. And there, it was actually going pretty well, but at the end.
So, Sonny pulled the trigger on AJ, but it wasn't really totally his choice. I mean, it was his choice to kill him. But he was pointed in that direction by one Miss Ava Jerome, who was still around messing with Sonny's life.
Yeah, she was actually present when he shot him and killed him.
Mm-hmm. And she was like, "Oh, good."
Oh. Yeah.
Because Connie, as we all know, I don't know if we saw a flashback of it. I don't think we saw a flashback of it recently. I think I saw a YouTube clip. Somebody shared a YouTube clip, and it was a MURDER. Mm-hmm. When it comes to it, she red rummed her big time, big time. Held the pistol at point blank range, and Connie was like, "You ain't gonna do this." And what did Ava do? Kablowie.
Shot her.
Kablowie.
And in her last moments, what did Connie do?
Wrote on the ground in blood, AJ. It's very much a Simpsons thing. AJ. And then Ava Jerome.
Someone's name and someone else's initials.
So she wrote down AJ, which Ava Jerome then spun in the public. Mm-hmm. That must mean AJ Quartermain.
Yes.
And now Ava's still around smoozing with Kate's, with Jagger.
Oh, that Ava, she's really like trying to grab any string,
anything.
She knows her goose is cooked.
So she's working real hard to make sure that she is protected, immunity, whatever it is that she's seeking when it comes to Jagger. She's hoping to use Jagger to push Sonny out even further so she can collect Avery and not have to worry about custody. Her battle isn't going to be in the court. Her battle is going to be to make it so Sonny can't go to court.
She's trying so hard to spin him into the worst episode he's ever had.
And he's probably going to get
manic, it. He can't even know his name.
He's probably going to get it. And I feel like, I don't know, the unevenness of some of the stories that we're getting on General Hospital. This, of course, is one of them. Sonny's medication, his bipolarness. I don't know exactly. It probably is because of the perceived disagreements between Patrick Mulcahy and Elizabeth Cordy, as for the direction of story and all that. So, it's been a little uneven. We can just say that. It looks like Sonny's pushed a bunch of people to the side, and those he didn't push too far away, he's trying to bring back. Like Nina, for example. So,
Yeah.
So we're going to have Sonny with a couple of people who are on his side. It's not a complete abandonment like it had been before, where he has this meltdown, and now he's still going to have some people going, well, there's something wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
Nina can be like, well, I ran into him before, when he was on perfect medication. This ain't Mike. Maybe she can see something. Jason, of course, at the end of the week is basically recommitting himself to the mafia.
Pretty much, huh?
I don't want to work for you, Carly. I don't want to go to the Metro Court. I want to work at Corinthos Coffee.
No, he didn't want no head of security job, did he?
No, he wants to go back working for Corinthos Coffee, which of course we all know is a euphemism for the life.
Exactly.
Plus, on top of that, too, he pretty much attached on something's going on with Sonny, and he needs me. He needs me to figure this out for him, essentially.
He needs me.
Yes.
Like usual. He wants to jump back into the whole caravan of, I need to work for Sonny. I need to be partners with Sonny, where I can protect Sonny from everyone, including himself.
I see the writing on the wall. I see the issues. I see what might be coming when it comes to Mr. Sonny Corinthos, and I need to be in the way of it, is how Jason feels. So, so he and Carly big time planning for the future, hanging out on that bridge for not 1, but 2 days.
Yeah.
Just chit-chatting on Jason's bridge. It's Jason's bridge now, okay? Forget about Robin.
They even sat on the bridge for a while.
The
legs in front of him leaning against the post there.
Elizabeth Cordy clearly loves beer. Or the breakdown writer who is responsible for these scenes just can't get enough bottles of beer. I don't know if maybe the props department recently bought themselves a case of bottles, and now they're like, hey guys, we got a new prop, let's use it. I don't know, but everybody is cracking open a brewski.
Like, Matt, prop guy Matt.
Prop guy Matt.
We need beer. Again? Y'all need beer again?
Yeah. Well, get us some real ones this time.
But the thing with the amber bottles, though, he doesn't have to mix anything. He doesn't have to mix anything to look like bourbon. He doesn't have to mix anything to look like anything.
They could even just be empty.
It'd be empty bottle.
They can be empty entirely. I prefer, I would just be like, give me a real beer. Let me get hammered. Don't really do it in one take. It'll be fine.
Little swig.
I don't
know. Steve Burton probably still has beer occasionally.
I have no idea. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's not the healthiest thing. It's an unnecessary drink, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's not vital to somebody's existence. So I don't know. We could ask him, hey, Steve Burton, I know you're not watching, but if you do happen to come across this or somebody shares this with you, do you still drink beer? And if so, what's your preferred brand? Flavor? Like brand? Is it brand? Brewer. Your preferred brewer.
Are you an ale guy?
Are you an IPA dude?
Ale guy? Are you an API guy?
You're a Bud Light
beer guy?
You're a Bud Light guy.
Domestic
a
beer
light
guy?
American beer. Coors Light.
Maybe he has a Michelob, but only has 2 carbohydrates in the whole bottle.
Oh gosh, 2 carbs? Okay, that's it. He's a Michelob man. That's a cerveza dude, Stick a little lime on the top of your beer bottle, Mr. Burton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Laura says that Jagger doesn't want Jason to go, and I guess that's going to continue to be a little bit of a problem as time goes on, because they have evidence and they have a culprit, but they don't have the culprit.
No. No. Anna made sure of that, huh?
Anna absolutely made sure of that. She's like, all right, Jason, I'm going to give you this phone. Books it back to Valentine's house. You have to leave.
And
I just turned you in.
They made sure that they showed the clock when he got possession of the phone, which was 4:03. But by the time of 4:33, Agent Cates was in the room.
In the room in an empty house, right? very shortly, like, like, Valentine has connections.
Yeah.
Valentine called himself some pikeman cleanup crew. And they cleared out. All right, folks, here's the thing. I don't know for sure because I'm not plugged in. Don't come here for the news. But I think it's going to be a long time before we see Valentine again.
I think so too.
I think it might be even potentially years.
I want to see Charlotte again before we see Valentine, though.
Yeah, I mean, so she continues to improve her craft every time we see Miss Charlotte on the show. Scarlett Palmer's or something, right? Scarlett Hernandez. Scarlett Palmer's was on Star Trek Voyager, and she's 35 now.
Okay,
Not
you
the same
got your
actor.
wrong. You had your Scarletts mixed up.
Scarlett's mixed up. Scarlett Hernandez. Yeah, so she's good. She's great. She is better every single time that we see her. She did well with the villainy before she left to this most recent stint, and she did. I thought that she really nailed the content coming back too.
I think so too.
You know, I mean, it was a little easy. You know, they basically just shoveled in an excuse for Charlotte to have changed her mind. But it's a worldly one. I actually kind of appreciated the fact that they left it sort of unspecific.
Well, you know, Charlotte could stick around. She don't have to go with her dad. She could stick around because her mama's going to.
Yeah, we'll see.
Wake up.
Yeah, and then I just don't see that happening. I just don't. I'm willing to be surprised. But I just don't see it. I just don't see Lulu waking up. Excuse me.
What's the well, you know, there has to be a purpose of showing her at all. So she either going to wake up or draw her last breath. One or the other, right?
Yeah, I mean, but they've shown her before, and when Laura was locked in, on occasion they would go hang out with her by her chair while she was staring out the window and that sort of stuff.
That's all true, but the coincidence of Lucky being like gonna be showing up in a couple of weeks, it's not a coincidence.
It's no. That's where we get into
She's gonna wake up or she's gonna die.
That's where we get into the fun and uncomfortable and weird world of knowing too much. You know, we know that Jonathan Jackson's on the way. We know that Lucky and Lulu were brother and sister. It makes sense for them to include Lulu in some capacity for this. They're showing Lulu's body. Gets you thinking, oh, well, is she going to wake up or something around the return of Lucky? I don't know myself. I personally, my feeling in my heart, in the pit of my stomach, is that it is less likely that Lulu wakes up and more likely that Lulu does not.
Think so.
I just see it more likely than that. Yeah.
Do you think that perhaps she's going to pass away and that's the reason why Lucky comes home?
Possibly. It's also possible that Aiden's big brother bumps his head real hard and Lucky feels like he needs to come home to support the family some. It's possible that Lulu passes, Jake bumps his head, Laura's on the outs because of a recall election, and he feels he needs to come back to support his ailing family in their big time of need in which they're dealing with 3 crises at one time.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because also, like, you know, on the other side, on the McCall Falconeri side of things, not just the Spencer side, but the McCall Falconeri side,
yes.
They're a unit. You know, Dante the other week was pretty much like, F your baby daddies, these kids got us. Like, what are you so wrapped up in all of this for?
Yeah.
You know? And then on top of that too, this week they I don't know if, are they trying to maybe suggest that maybe they might be blending the families in a deeper way? Is one co-parent maybe going to legally adopt the child of another? Will Dante become the adoptive father of a scout? Can Sam become the adoptive mother of one Mr. Rocco? Who knows what the future holds?
The second one makes more sense because of her being in a coma. The first one doesn't make sense because, I mean, if he doesn't need to adopt her. Her dad's about to be mucking him up.
Yeah, he's about to be congressman. So maybe not on the scout side of things, but you know, it's possible that maybe they're going to.
And if he pulls up his pants, he'll have time for that.
We'll see. I don't know about that. Well, so who knows? You know, who knows how deep their relationship may continue to grow, especially if Lulu does pass away. I just think that there's more dramatic impact for Lulu passing away. Also, at the same time, too, if you're not gonna get Julie Berman, just don't do it.
kind of where I'm at.
You know, I mean,
If I don't get Julie Berman, I want somebody completely different.
because
Completely fresh.
beyond that, what does Lulu do other than create a problem for Dante and Sam? I know that she has friends and connections and all that kind of stuff, but her stories have largely been told. Is there anything left on the table for them to really pick up with that
Well,
isn't
sure, they would have
rekindling
to
with
just
Dante?
create something different, you know? They have to create something different. And if they brought Lulu back and had a whole new fresh face, they could have a whole new fresh story.
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
often when a character comes back, but it's a replacement actress or actor,
Mm-hmm.
then they have a new kind of persona
Mm-hmm.
of, you know, of course, elements of the past. And like Christina's perfect example of that. Yeah, she's very, very different than when Lexi played her. Very
Mm-hmm.
different.
Yeah.
But, you know, she still has diarrhea of the mouth sometimes,
Yeah.
like she always has,
Of course.
sometimes. But she's a much more grown up
Yeah.
Christina.
Yeah. It's entirely possible. Daisy says that Dante can't adopt Scout or Danny since both their parents are present. Both still have legal claim on their kids. There's no role to fill.
Sure.
So there's that. Cinta says that if Lulu was recast, it would likely split Dante and Sam. And Chandra hopes that's not the case. I don't know. Lulu's fine, and of course you can always write something for them and figure it out and all that kind of stuff. But
Sure.
it's a lot of figuring it out, though. You know, it just doesn't seem like a seamless put back into the show. But I have no idea what the future holds. Laura's not going to be mayor for much long, and I don't know what's next for them. So maybe there is room. Maybe I'm just selling it too short.
Yeah.
Chandra suggests that one of them would have to give up the parental rights. So
Have to sign a document of some kind.
yeah. So unless I really don't see Drew doing that, unless he's just like, oh, I don't care anymore. I don't care
No,
about
Drew's
my
not
daughter.
going to do that. He has done some unsavory things lately, though, that we really did not anticipate.
They're a mistake.
But I don't think that's going to be
mistake.
one of
It's
them.
never going to happen again. I promise. You know, we were just caught up in the emotion. We were caught up in the announcement, and then the lights were so beautiful. You don't understand how gorgeous these fireworks were. They removed our inhibitions. It was like hypnosis. It's like Marlena Evans came to town.
She's such a beautiful woman. There was a beautiful woman standing in front of me.
Just illuminated by the red, white, and blues. The 4th of July firework display on the Quartermain property. We just couldn't control ourselves. We couldn't hold ourselves back. And of course, we're not telling anybody else that afterwards we admitted to having deep feelings for each other for a long time now, ones that we refused to acknowledge. Ones that we've pushed down into the depths of our bellies.
But not to mention, he was probably, at least, I don't know, if he wasn't a Navy SEAL already, he was contemplating it by the time that girl was even born. Right?
I have no idea what the age difference is.
There's
I
got
guess
to
at
be
least
quite a
20
bit.
years. At least 20 years,
I
right?
would say 20.
You know, is she supposed to be, what, a 30?
I do see, Jason and Andrew should be in their early 50s.
Yeah, they should be, 50 to 55, right?
Absolutely. And Willow should be mid 30s.
Yeah, I'm with it. I am with.
And I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with May-December romances. I don't at all think there's anything wrong with that. What's wrong with it is Drew is trying to nail his niece-in-law.
Yeah, that's
just
gross.
dirty.
It's dirty.
Dirty.
It's dirty. It's dirty. Cinda's comments that if baby Lila had survived, then Dante would be the brother to the daughter that Sam had with his father. Which is true. He would have been Lila's brother.
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, but here's the thing. Here's the wild part. Okay, to me, that is the only familial tie that would be kind of like goofy. I am not bothered by Leo and Christina being related to both of them, because that happened due to their parents' choices with each other, not any choices that they made in their own lives.
Yeah.
Though, you know, if baby Lila had survived, then that would be a wrench in
It's
there.
it's funky. The whole thing is kind of funky, but the truth be told, Dante and Sam are not
They
related.
really aren't. Their parents made choices. They share siblings, but they share nothing with each other. We've covered it a little bit on the podcast before. It's a little weird. It would be super weird, honestly, if Lila had survived. But she didn't. And so I guess it's a little less weird. And plus, that's also another choice that Dante's dad made. Not Dante.
Yep.
I like Dante and Sam together.
Yep.
It's really easy to get on board with them. I think that they have wonderful chemistry together
Oh,
as
I've
actor
always
and
liked them
actress.
together. I've always liked them together. I always thought their scenes have always been so natural and believable.
Yeah, yeah. So really, I've always thought that it's just kind of awkward from Leo and Christina's perspective, but not from Sam and Dante's.
Right.
But Christina's got her own problems.
You sure
And we
does.
also got Natalia running around town trying to like fix her problem that she created. I do appreciate this is what I was talking about a couple of weeks ago when all of this stuff came down and everybody was having a fit over the fact that the story was happening. We're seeing the result of what I was saying, where Natalia sees this and then now is like, okay, well, Link ruined things for her. And I said, never again is a third party going to get involved. I'm going to handle things. And I blew that immediately by being dumb. So she's seeing the result of her poor choice, and now it has pushed her to then kind of re-examine her approach. Where she goes, well, maybe I actually can't handle this, and we do need a third party that we can trust much more than Link. That's what I'm talking about. It's the growth of the character, seeing her mistake, realizing the wrongness of something that somebody never really confronted her with.
That's true. But at the same time, Sonny didn't give Natalia a choice.
Not really.
No.
No, because he's...
Yeah, you get my help, my support, and a bushel of money.
He really did lay it all on the table very simply. Listen, this is BLQ's company. What she says goes. What she wants to do is what's going to happen. You can get on board, or you can not have this offer as soon as she leaves the room.
Right. And then when BLQ showed up and he was actually talking to Natalia and Brooklyn, he doubled down on that.
Mm-hmm.
And Brooklyn doubled down too on Uncle Sonny. You're like, yep. You're going to do it my way or it's the highway.
But now she's in a position where she can see the error of her ways. She can be continued to be confronted with a different point of view. That is the correct point of view, if you want to call a point of view correct. That is the more societally open, the more open-minded point of view. So she can continue to see this. She can continue to see an example of the positive traits that she hadn't been paying attention to in the past. So yeah, we're going to get growth. We're going to get Ava LaRue growing as an actress in this character and all that stuff. And I like it. I do. I don't hate it.
You know she's going to have a relationship with Sonny eventually.
Eventually, you can't. I mean, come on. This is two daytime legends floating around each other. She's already hanging out in his house before he comes home.
Yeah.
Here he walks in. Speaking of doors, both Nina and Willow never, ever knock on Drew's door. And this is something that I have noticed week over week. Both of them barge into that office mid-sentence.
Yep.
Both of them do.
We're going to find, one of them's going to find the other one on a bearskin rug eventually.
Thinking that it's not happening because they're not telling each other about what's going on, and Drew's just playing the field. Not real. Oh, mistake. Oh, this. Oh, that.
I made a mistake.
Honestly, though, this coming out as fast as it did was a surprise to me. I did not think.
Yeah.
I thought that they were going to keep it secret for a little longer. I did
so
not
too.
foresee Willow telling Nina.
No, I thought that the reason that I thought the way the mother and daughter were going to find out about how Drew is slipping it to both of them was I thought that one of them was going to walk on the other, actually get slipped on.
Or maybe Sasha would set something up so they could walk in on it, so she can end the situation or alleviate some guilt or try to solve the problem by forcing the situation in some way. But no, we didn't get that. No, Willow testing the bonds of the new relationship that she has forged with Nina.
Mhm.
And I'm okay with it. I'm totally okay with characters one week like having a really clear conversation, like Curtis, the conversation Curtis facilitated last week, where he's like,
Mhm.
"All right, guys, I think that we've had this storyline for long enough. The writers have really had you guys hate each other for a really long time, and I think after this conversation, we can just put that all behind us, yeah?"
Mhm.
And they
Mhm.
said yes. And so I'm totally here with it. I'm totally with a character making a choice and sticking to it.
Mhm.
So now we got Willow admitting things to Nina, Nina being there in a motherly way as best she can without revealing her own relationship with Drew.
And in the back of her mind, she's going, "Oh,
Demands that this man comes up to her office. I love it. Okay, this is the Spitfire Nina that I want to see more of. Not
yep."
only was it really fun, but Cynthia Watros ate it up.
Mhm.
It was really
Yes, she
fun.
did.
Just on the phone, and the way that she was like, "If you don't come up here, I'm gonna ruin your campaign." I was like,
Mhm.
he marches up there. The first thing that this woman does is hit him, and I knew that my mother was happy.
Oh, yes, I was. Oh, yes, I was. And I always do that. I always say the same thing. Always, always. I said it for Days of Our Lives too with Marlena. Hit him again.
Hit him again. Knock him
Harder this
down.
time.
Knock him on his tush.
Yep. And then when he falls to the floor, give him a good kick. Not to the head. That's rude. That's disrespectful, and you can really hurt somebody. Yeah, kick him in the ribs at least once. Come on.
Chandra said that she liked the surprise. It keeps us on our toes and it moves the story along. And it's true,
That's true.
this story did move quite along. It wasn't just scene after scene of them trying to keep it a secret.
I agree with you. I like being proved wrong, actually, and like plot twists and stuff. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I mean, it creates moments that I didn't expect to see, like Nina commanding Drew to come up to the office right now, threatening his campaign, slapping him across the face. And,
You kissed my daughter. Oh man.
and then the next day they talked about it. She seems to believe him when it comes to his persistence that it was a one-time mistake. It'll never happen again. We got swept up in the moment. You understand what it's like to get swept up in the moment. You did this whole Nixon Dolls thing with Sonny.
That is not even parallel at all.
Doesn't compare.
No, it doesn't.
But it seemed to have been enough to get Nina to go, okay, Drew, fine.
Yes, so.
I like your abs. Nina slapped the taste out of his mouth, says Chandra. That slap was epic, says Laura.
It was a good one. It was. It was a good slap. It was. And yeah, Cynthia was like, "Ooh, let me do this.
Ooh,
I love
okay,
this." She's been
alright.
looking through those pages saying, "I can't wait to do this."
I love these 2 pages. Give me more pages like this. Cinda says if Nina were to have told Willow that she's been sleeping with Drew, then Willow would drop the whole thing right now. Well, Cinda,
Now,
people just don't make the right choice on soap operas.
and Nina is she knows that right now, she got quicksand underneath her feet with her daughter. She doesn't want to say anything that could change that at all and
It would potentially
interrupt it at all.
It would potentially get Willow asking the question of, well, if you were stupping for the last several weeks, and Drew was also talking such good things about you over the last couple of weeks, what's the connection there? And I'm sure Nina wants to avoid that. So, it's going to be another thing where Willow finds out and Nina didn't tell her, but then also at the same time, this one is a little bit different than the other trouble that Nina's had in the past. Because Nina has kept secrets for nefarious, mean reasons. This is simply nobody else's business. What she does with Drew is kind of nobody else's business. Is there a little bit of a slant on there because he's like, hey, I'm going to help you with Willow? But it wasn't like he was like, if you continue to titillate me, I will help you with Willow. It was just 2 things that were happening at the same time.
Yeah, he didn't
They had grown closer.
Try to manipulate her in that way or blackmail her in that way.
No, he wasn't. He was taking advantage of offers that Nina was freely giving him.
Yeah.
So,
and I actually think that right now, Drew, when he says it's never going to happen again, I think he believes that.
They believe it. They
But
believe that it
we
was
all
just a
know
mistake.
that people don't think from the waist down. They just don't.
They are still working together on the campaign. I guess she's going to be his cancer representative for his. I don't know exactly what her job is anymore, because at first she was going to run some sort of a cancer ad.
Right, she was going to work for the new development, the new wellness center and
The
all
new
that.
wellness thing, but then
now
that's
I think she's going to
transitioned.
be his campaign manager.
So yeah, I think that she's going to get involved in running the campaign, and that's going to be late nights working together, doing math.
The two of them are absolutely stupid for that particular reason. That particular reason is more stupid than them actually kissing each other in the first place.
But it was a mistake. We'll never do it again. And she's so smart, and I need her.
If you can be stupid once, and you actually liked what happened when you were being so stupid,
you can be stupid a lot.
Well, you could be stupid again. You could be stupid over and over and over again. You could be stupid for like long stretches of time.
I mean, I can point to Joss and Dex, okay? I can't say that they've been stupid, but they have not been able to stop each other.
No.
From themselves.
Because everything is so titillating.
It's even starting to rekindle again. They're finding secret corners in the Metrocourt pool to kiss. So just look at those two as an example of what could happen, Drew and Willow. Let's be careful. Let's be careful out there.
There are no brains below the waist. There are impulses, but there are no brains below the waist. There isn't.
Lara says, I don't see why Drew brought up the Nixon Falls situation and Chandra being there, so I don't have to answer it. Replies, it's probably for the benefit of newer viewers to understand the whole Nina and Sonny history. And boom, Chandra, you hit the nail on the head with that, because later on in the week we had Sonny and Nina in scenes with each other. When they write General Hospital, they expect somebody to watch all of it, not just some of it.
Sure enough, hoping for it, that's for sure.
The writing and the expectation is you're going to take in the full half hour, without commercials.
I wonder if there's a way, for them to actually know what is being fast forwarded. I wonder if there's a way to gather that data.
On the,
I know what's being fast forwarded.
I don't know what sort of metrics exist on the DVR side of things, but all of your streamers absolutely know. I know on just YouTube analytics when people are, if there is a spike in people coming onto the podcast, a spike of people hopping off of the podcast as an audience, I get spikes, I get dips, I get analytics. I know how most people have found the show. I know search terms that y'all have used to come find the show. A lot of it is 10th floor, by the way. So thank you for searching for us specifically. So yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of different analytics that at least YouTube gives me, and I can only imagine what Hulu and Disney Plus and Peacock and all of them are dealing with when it comes to user trends and analytics, and how many minutes are they spending on a particular program? What are they really watching? What are they focused on? When did they pause? What did they pause? That sort of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, so it gets pretty deep.
It could potentially get pretty deep. I don't know for sure, but I know that they would have access to all of that user information. So yeah. Stephanie says that she doesn't fast forward anything, even if it's a story she's not a fan of, because she wants to know what's going on. That's the main thing. Yeah, that's the thing. And then you also get a couple of things. Number one, if you fast forwarded Willow, because you weren't interested in Willow and Michael and all them, then you missed everything that was leading up to this moment. And it's completely justified. It totally makes sense.
There was a lot of crumbs, you guys. There were little crumbs leading up to that kiss. That some of it was kind of obvious, a lot of it wasn't.
Yeah. But if you fast forwarded, if you weren't paying attention to those scenes, if you were underinvested, then it's possible that you missed everything that was leading up to it. And then this surprise is a major surprise. This kiss is a major surprise that you never saw coming, because you missed all of the build up for it by fast forwarding.
Isn't it interesting though that they're making Drew a little bit slimy and a politician at the same time? True to life, huh? True to life.
It's who I think that they're modeling Drew after?
Who's that?
The California governor, Gavin Newsom.
You think so?
Because politically, out there for the people and probably behind closed doors, I imagine he means most of what he says when it comes to progressiveness and liberalism and gay people should get married and all that sort of stuff. California is suffering when it comes to some things. money-wise mostly, housing,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of stuff. But a lot of that stuff also isn't really under his control either. A lot of that is business.
Mm-hmm.
So, blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying, that guy's also a smarmy-ass politician who cheated on his cancer-ridden wife. So I think that they might be modeling a little bit
But
after
talks a
Newsom.
good game.
But
Can he
talks an
public
amazing
speak
game.
his butt off?
He can public speak his butt off. He's handsome. People like him. He's got politician hair. He says the right stuff. He's got his fingers on the pulse of this topic, that topic, this, that, or the other stuff. When it comes to the national stage, it seems as though he's got it figured out.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you're California residents, take your own opinion on the effectiveness of Gavin Newsom. We're not here to split that apart. But I just
don't know
kind
that
of
everybody
see.
knows this. I'm just politics, but I don't know that everybody knows this. Nancy Pelosi is his.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. Look at that. Family California politicians. No, I didn't know that. So I see some similarities just in a little bit of Gavin Newsom, but also like Newsom is the politician that I kind of know. So I don't know if there's somebody in Arkansas or South Carolina or Nebraska or something that's very similar.
Well, there was a particular politician, back in the 80s that is from Arkansas, and he came on the Arsenio show with a saxophone and a pair of shades, and everybody thought he was cool as shit, and that could happen with Gavin Newsom.
And he was president for 8 years.
Yes.
And he did not have sexual relations with that woman. I did not. It depends on the definition of what is. All right. Look at Matt and his Jedi Knight skills. That's right, the Jedi Knight skills provided to me by YouTube. Oh, gosh. Welcome, Kaiwan. Hey, Kaiwan. Welcome to the chat, buddy. I watch in real time. I mute instead of fast forward to the ones I don't want to watch. That's a compromise.
Well, and yeah, but are you still watching though?
Look for the
Do
looks.
you get up and leave, or do you actually still watch with no sound?
I'm just playing her, Sudoku on her iPhone. Willow was acting.
Checking Twitter at the same time. I understand that.
Yeah.
Boy,
Cinda says that Willow was acting like a high school girl flirting with a guy in the hall. She kind of was. She got a little schoolgirl crush. She became a little smitten over Drew.
I tell you, she got smitten at the moment she got smitten was at that pool when he was very effectively swimming in 3 feet of water.
We talked about it last week.
Yeah, when he was at the pool playing with the kids and stuff and being so charming and being so handsome, being so cute and being so funny and being so everything. Oh, she got a little Drewified.
Oh, just into it.
That's what's wrong with Willow. She's Drewified.
Well, Willow's mother is also Drewified. She, I felt like there was an element of wanting to maintain the potentiality of her relationship with Drew. Because she kind of she doesn't like him like she's liked other people. Like she's not falling in love with him like she fell for Valentine or Sonny. But she does enjoy his company.
She wanted to keep the booty call.
And so I feel as though that she was trying to maintain that for herself. Stop kissing my daughter, but you can continue to kiss me.
I think she's just, she was not more, but she is just upset about the idea of missing her, enemy with benefits and, making sure her daughter's okay.
Michelle says that she checks Twitter during scenes that don't interest her. And I got a legitimate question. This isn't me trying to be catty or anything like that. But Michelle, do you find that browsing Twitter while watching General Hospital skews how you think of the show? Because it's nothing but negativity out there on Twitter, and if you're reading that negativity while you're watching the show, I'm wondering if it affects your enjoyment level, or if you start getting irritated or noticing things that you don't like a little bit more after spending some time on the timeline. I'd be curious. I'd be curious to know. And if it's no, then awesome. Then that's great. I love that.
Matt, of course, there's lots of negativity on the Twitter. But there's a lot that isn't. If you go to our channel, it's not full of just all bullcrap.
No, not at all. Not at all.
There's lots of other channels that aren't full of that either.
That's true. That's true. And Facebook also is not as wild. In any
And,
case,
and neither is Instagram. Instagram's not nearly as catty.
now you can hang out on Instagram, see all the official pictures that GH puts up. Sometimes they have behind the scenes things, all that sort of
Mhm.
stuff. Well, anyone
So
would be
Matt,
attracted to Drew. Ha, it's true, Laura.
well, yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. I've actually seen Cameron in person,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, we saw him
he
at the
is a
daytime Emmys.
tall. Yeah, and I went and saw him actually, and I was in the front row.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I went and saw him in Sacramento. He and Laura Wright did
That's
something
right. Yeah,
together.
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
little over
yeah.
a year ago now, and I did go, and I was in the front row. And he is a tall, handsome, well put together drink of water.
Oh, okay. Oh, Michelle spends time on a positive group chat. Chandra waits until night when she's done watching the show and goes straight to our page first. So
Aw,
thanks,
that's
Chandra.
awesome.
And
Thanks, Chandra.
Laura doesn't have Twitter, and you're better off not having it, Laura.
There's a lot of negativity on there. There is.
So Sona fans rejoice. Sonny and Nina kind of burying the hatchet is the terminology they used.
And,
Finding a way forward in a friendship.
yeah. And actually, what facilitated that was Willow going to see him.
Yeah, like it's repairing the relationship with Willow seems to be doing well for Nina's life. And then Sonny, independently of that conversation too, like they did a good job when it came to informing the story before getting into the story again. Because Sonny had things to say about Nina outside of conversation with Nina saying, yeah, I just wanted to be happy, Just wanted to be a happy blonde crimson lady. And then he goes trying to drum up support for the upcoming legal custody battle, hoping that he can have some character
kind
witnesses.
of reminisce about Nixon Falls.
A little bit, and maybe there's another
Remin-
dance
they
for us in the
kind of
future, Nina.
reminisce. They actually kind of it was like they were almost like referring to Mike as someone that's not with us anymore.
He kind of is.
Yeah.
Because Mike is a part of Sonny, but it's not the dominant part of Sonny. It's not even like a DID thing either. It's just an element of his personality that you can ascribe a name to. It's like when somebody gets drunk and they become, I'm Becky now, You don't want.
But if you strip away the mob and Corinthos coffee, you strip that away from Sonny. There is Mike underneath all that.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
have to strip away the mob, and you have to strip away Corinthos coffee. And when he was in Nicholas Falls, that stuff was gone.
I think that's the idea because his name is Michael Corinthos, right? He's not. Sonny's a nickname, isn't it?
Sonny is a nickname. Yes, his name is Michael Corinthos Jr.
Right. So Mike is totally, that's totally correct. That's it. I think that's a spot on observation. Michael Corinthos, not Sonny, the name I had to pick up because I'm in the mafia. Yes. So yeah, he's I don't know, he's trying to regain a little bit of a base. Brooklyn.
It almost seems
Natalia.
like this. It almost seems like this to me. As he's been on quarter medication for a while.
Now he's on no medication.
And he hasn't been as spun out crazy as he was when his first medication first got changed.
Yeah.
He's getting kind of spun out.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like his body seemed to regulate the lower dose and just kind of be okay with it to a certain degree. But now that it's been completely, those are placebos, there is nothing in there. There is nothing in there to help him with his bipolarness. All he needs now is the right situation to happen for him to go cuckoo.
Yeah, I think that's a kind of what it, yes. Yeah. You get off of meds and you have a terrible time with it. Then things kind of balance out in whatever your normal is. And when somebody has bipolar, it's not like I'm raging or I'm extremely happy. I'm in extreme at all time. No, there's middle ground. There's time where you're chill. And then something will set you off, or you'll wake up one day feeling different, or any number of things. So yeah, I think, wow, Ma, look at you. You're astute. I'm so impressed.
So it really, I think the biggest difference in his illness is how you're going to react to situations
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
rather than your everyday thought pattern.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what pushes him over the edge, and if somebody can
Nothing's going
catch
to
him
push him
before he
over the
falls.
edge.
Because here's the thing. I mean, if this is the Ava exit story, then Sonny's going to come out on top, which means that somebody is going to intervene before 0% medication does something too terribly.
I think Jason's going to ultimately save him.
Maybe neither one of them is found to be right to be the guardian of Avery, and she winds up at Carly's house. Hey Avery, who do you think should raise you? Mama Carly.
Mama Carly's. Well, that would make sense, actually. She has spent so much time in that house. That house used to be her father's house.
Mm-hmm.
It was her father's house she knows that house from birth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Mama Carly has always been good to Avery.
Mm-hmm.
And her little sister not only is her little sister, but that's her like her best friend
It's
as
her
well.
best friend.
They play together.
Mama Carly also was her stepmom up until like 2 years ago. So for the vast majority of this little girl's life, which hasn't been very long, but still the vast majority of this little girl's life.
And when Sonny was gone in Nixon Falls being Mike, Ava and Carly learned how to co-parent even.
Yes, they did.
They did.
Yes, they did. 100%. So, I don't know, Ma. I don't want Ava to go. I really don't. I want them to figure it out. I want them to figure it out that isn't her leaving.
I hope they don't kill her,
I don't think that's going to happen.
It seems like in General Hospital, the real indication of death is either a body bag or a cabinet that they pull out with a body.
Right.
Or
Franco. and Austin. No, Austin was left. We didn't get a thing with Austin.
No, Austin's still on the floor somewhere in some cabin. I'm sure he's melted into a pile of goo by now.
I think we got Peter and Franco in a drawer. I think we got both of those. I can't recall exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I think Avery is about 10, says Chandra. So most of her life she's been with Mama Carly. Yeah. So that's a distinct possibility of story that may be coming. Maybe they're both not fit. Jason has to move in with Sonny. I'm gonna watch you. Don't watch me. You're not my son. You're not my brother. I'm your brother. I'm your brother,
they used
Sonny.
to
You
live
just don't
across
remember.
the hallway from each other in the penthouses.
Yeah. Yes. Valentine on the run with Charlotte. Sonny's music label Validments to Dex Bonds at the station with Dante and Chase. We're getting little bonding moments between Dex, Dante, and Chase.
And they've been talking about they've been asking him about his past and parentage a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's coming up. Dex is coming up, and Gio's parentage is coming up
too.
We might find out that Dex and Gio are brothers.
That would be interesting.
Wouldn't that be interesting? That would be interesting.
I've heard all kinds of theories. Of course, with the way they've been doing with Gio, though, he could be so many different people's kid.
Yeah. The prevailing Twitter raging theory is that he's actually Sonny's kid. He's not Sonny's kid.
I don't think he's Sonny's kid. And the main reason why I don't think he's Sonny's kid is I recall Maurice saying, Maurice gets his way often.
Mm-hmm.
I recall Maurice saying, Sonny don't need no more kids.
Sonny don't need no more kids. Also at the same time, too, Sonny Corinthos, being the man and the father that he is, wouldn't have a kid out there for 20 years that he was just paying.
No.
He would be involved in the kid's life.
If indeed he might be helping Gio just out of, sentiment for Bensonhurst and Lois and everybody else back at home.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he could be helping him, because I think he kind of helps his community back at home anyway.
Yeah.
Not just Gio, but Bensonhurst in itself. I think he helps them.
I don't think that there's any secret, any nefarious reason why. It was just Sonny being generous. And they had talked about it in scenes over the last couple of weeks, especially with this fallout of Laura. You can't just buy my friendship, Sonny. You can't just buy my loyalty. So I think
They've
that's,
shown us that a lot.
yeah, but
Part of the reason why people keep Sonny in their in their circle
yeah.
is because he does do these generous
Mm-hmm.
things.
Exactly.
Those
Exactly.
show a softer side. He's very charismatic. Those dimples, Mr. Dimples, that works.
Yeah.
Um, so but I could definitely see that he just did not know.
Yeah, I
I could
guess
see
I could see that,
but
I
I,
suppose.
I don't want Gio to be Sonny's kid actually.
No.
I
I
want
just don't think
Gio to
that's the
be
case. I don't think that's the
um
case.
I'm thinking that Gio will wind up being Drew's.
Yeah, because then what we have, we got another Corinthos.
And
We got enough
yeah,
Corinthoses.
and especially since they gave us these little Easter eggs earlier too, where he said he looks familiar.
To
Well,
Drew
Drew would have
or
had Jason's face
Jason
back
looks,
then.
yeah, Jason
Jason
looks
looked
familiar.
familiar.
I think I saw
Well,
a picture of him.
yeah. Well, it's because he would have had Jason's face back then
Mm-hmm.
if they're going back to story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that of the people on the canvas, it makes the most sense for Drew because Drew doesn't have any adult children to play with right now. Sonny does, like Michelle says, or maybe he's Dante's kid. Dante's got a Rocco right now, and a Danny, and in his own little family unit. Doesn't necessarily need the character himself when it comes to a creative standpoint, when it comes to trying to figure out who fits where. Dante doesn't necessarily need a kid right now. He's got plenty going on. Drew, on the other hand, has all sorts of other elements in his life that could be filled out.
And he has Scout, but Scout's young.
Yeah, Scout's too young to provide any real content and story. Geo, on the other hand, can. But also, we don't know much about Geo. Geo's very soft right now. A softer character, a more soft-spoken character, not somebody that's trying to get into trouble. Doesn't seem to have come to town with a bunch of violent baggage or anything like that.
No, the only thing that I noticed with Gio is that Gio genuinely seems to really love Port Charles. He likes it there. He feels fit in there. He's meeting new people. He's enjoying himself, and he's willing to give up big opportunities to stay right there in Port Charles because it feels so cozy and wonderful.
It feels better for my future to maybe get this education and rather chase after that very first professional fruit that dangles. Trying to make good choices for his future and be strong and smart and stay
And I
on the
can
show.
see and I can see that character of Lois trying to motivate him to do that and get him and help him with some opportunities because she is L of L&B Records.
Yeah. I mean,
So
there needs to be conflict. So Gio's potential future, and then that also could lead to him bonding with Joss and Trina more, and Trina giving him well, you should stay for me, I like you, or some sort of next stage in their developing romance.
do you think the fans liked being able to see Trina with Joss reminiscing about Spencer and having the turtle dove
I
and
guess, I don't know.
I would hope that the fans love that because they haven't they seem to want to see Trina mourn and mourn some more.
Yeah, I mean, we got some of that. I've been pretty disconnected from that discourse for a little while. I've been taking my time away from Twitter, and then also recently, the real world has completely taken over the timeline. Because there's just so much talk about it, and the platform being what it's supposed to be under the eyes of Elon Musk, that sort of stuff is prioritized on the timeline. So there's a lot of current events that's taken over my GH timeline, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And plus that too, I'm not spending as much time on there as well to be inundated with the opinion. So I can't say I would imagine that some of them were thrilled, and the rest of them were unhappy that it wasn't long enough, and how did they take so long to get here? I thought it was cool. I think it's fine keeping Spencer alive in the memory in some ways. I think it's cool to mention some of those old details, like what did happen to that turtle dove. Like that's something that the Sprina fans enjoyed about their relationship. So,
well, the other one should have been in Spencer's pocket, and when he jumped in the water, he didn't want to jump in the water.
So here's another thing that also keeps the turtle dove alive in the mythos of General Hospital. That way, one day when somebody with a new face shows up to Port Charles and he has this mysterious turtle dove in his pocket, then that can open up.
Ain't that the truth? And it's so reminiscent too of Sam and Jason with the phoenix and the dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, I
It's
mean, this is total Home Alone 2. Lost in New York. Those turtle doves. Chandra heard something about Gio being Eddie Main's kid with a groupie. I still think Drew is the more likely one.
I think Drew's more
And it has
likely.
everything to do with that line about recognizing Jason's face from somewhere. From
Me too.
somewhere. What is that?
That was a giant. That was a giant indication.
Yeah. So, hey, let's see. We do, Sandra says, we do have an old storyline never developed about Dante and Cody as young friends. Something mysterious, potentially father. So the
Ask
thing is, though,
Matthew. He'll tell you what happened.
they killed a man in 1992. I don't know what that thing is. It seems as though that story has absolutely been dropped, buried, and left far behind, never to be picked up again.
It got left off in one of those writer switcheroos.
Switcheroonies. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that they were too young in that time frame that they were referencing, like, oh, camp trouble. Like
You're
you're
like 12.
yeah,
Like
you're,
you're
you're
12.
like 12 to 16 during that. I think
Yeah.
that's a smidge young
Yeah.
to wind up fathering a child with this person who blew through town for 2 weeks. It's not impossible.
Unless they rewrite it and suddenly they were at camp at 17.
Yeah, no, we were actually 22-year-old camp counselors is what we were,
Yeah.
you know.
And then the weirder things could happen.
Yeah, so I don't know, we'll see. I seem to remember seeing the turtle dove in the water after Spencer was presumed dead.
Oh, maybe I
You know what, though?
recall that.
When it comes down to it, who cares? Little details like that could easily just be switched, changed, or forgotten.
I do believe that Spencer will return someday, you guys. Probably will not be Mr. Chavez, but I think he will return someday.
Yeah. Lola suggests,
but not too soon because Laura's got kids on the way back anyway.
Yeah.
She don't need them right
now.
now.
No. We got a whole Lucky arc to get through for the next year before we have to worry about somebody else.
Wait.
It's coming up soon too. It's supposed to be like August or whatever he shows up, or shortly after that. Like it's coming quick.
I know it's coming quick. I recently saw a photo. I saw a photo of Jonathan and his wife and Steve and his girlfriend Michelle.
Yeah, they shared that on Instagram.
Together.
Yeah, the caption was something about happy being back with the fam or something like that.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
And there was
Jonathan and Steve are great friends.
And there was another picture shared of them as young men. You know, back in the 90s when they were on the show together. Apparently Steve Burton and Jonathan Jackson, fast friends, have been very close. I don't know what sort of stories Jason and Lucky have played together. Because the thing is, when it comes to Lucky, I know Lucky in relation to Luke. I know Lucky in relation to Liz. I don't know much else about Lucky. I know what his relationship was like with his dad. I know what his relationship was like with Elizabeth. But the whole affair with Maxie, any sort of detail, I couldn't even find.
You don't know drug addicted Lucky very well.
No, I don't know cop Lucky. I don't know drug addicted Lucky. I couldn't even find a production still of a Jeannie Francis and Jonathan Jackson scene.
Wow.
Which makes me wonder how many scenes have Laura and Lucky had just the two of them.
Actually, I don't think there's been that much, especially in the last time that he was on. I don't think there was a ton. And I do think that part of that time that Laura wasn't there.
Yeah, I know a large chunk of Lucky's
Or she
time,
was looking through the window
was
still
looking
at
through
the
the window,
time.
being locked in, all that. So I know that there's been some interference that would prevent it. But when it comes to the relationship that Lucky has with his mother, I find that I don't know anything about them. I'm trying to think of times, and the only thing that comes to mind is him being upset about the boxcar situation. But that was a long time ago and only one story.
That was a long
time ago. So I find myself not knowing much about Laura.
Poor Laura. Do you know that she's mourned Lucky's death 2 or 3 times?
Well,
he's mourned Lucky's death more times than she has mourned Nicholas's death.
Well, at least he's not dead this time and just moved far away.
Nicholas is not dead either. He's just in the hooscow.
Yes. So, I mean, her kids are alive, all 3 of them.
All 3 of them.
Now.
And pretty soon we're going to see him on camera. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get Lucky back here in a minute. It's going to be great. Oh, thank you very much for the reactions. Send those hearts, everybody. Lola suggests maybe there's going to be a new L&B Records. Lois and Brooklyn Records.
I think so. I think it should be L&B, or it should be just BLQ Records.
BLQ Records.
I
mean,
like it.
Lois
I
needs more
like
to
it. I
do.
like it. And I was so afraid that, now that they're going to put, they put Brooklyn and Chase together, and now they're wedded blessed. Wedded blessed equals after a certain amount of time boredom.
Mhm.
But now that they're shooting her off in another direction, that's awesome.
Yeah,
And
more story.
and they need to shoot Chase off in another direction too. And they are a little bit. Maybe he'll get more involved in Dex's storyline.
Yeah, so we added a whole new cop to the mix, so hopefully we'll be getting some cop stories, right? Where the three of them have to work together in some way. I mean, it's two detectives and an officer, so maybe they'll come across a crime scene that they have to process or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and definitely we need to have a revelation about Dex in some way in order to keep him interesting.
Yes.
Maybe,
That's why his parentage things has to come up.
yeah, like who's your real daddy? Who, are you Gio's brother?
I thought it was cute. Dex at the pool, going to see, and he's in his uniform, and Josh just she get giddy over uniform, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, who doesn't like a good man in a uniform though?
Actually, I think dudes in a uniform look, they can level them up a bit.
Chandra says the scene when she thought Lucky was burned in the fire, baby. Jeannie acted her behind off.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
It's Angie digging in the dirt type of stuff.
Jeannie is there's a lot of them though. There's soap opera royalty. There are a few.
Oh yeah, and Jeannie Francis is one of them.
And Jeannie Francis is one of them. So is Maura West. And if Maura West leaves General Hospital, I expect to see her flying behind on something else.
Oh, very soon after. The only reason I can imagine somebody leaving one of their soap jobs is because they got another one lined up.
Yes, please. Unless you're Ingo, and then you might never get another job.
You burned your own bridges down with that one.
Let
us end with what we started with.
What's that?
Because I want to talk about Jake and Jason a little bit more.
Okay.
Because I really enjoyed that sequence of events. When it comes to honoring, the past and opening the doors for the future, I think that they handled that super well. It shows that Liz continues to have this common sense effect on Jason.
Yes.
It started a couple of weeks ago with the dip in the pool with the feet, and it's continued on to this. She has the ability to make him kind of get rid of the clouds in his mind and see a situation for a little bit more of the reality that it is, or to see an opportunity to make a more responsible choice.
Jason thinks in black and white, on or off.
Elizabeth colors it in for him.
Yes.
Oh, and an art reference too. So she colors it in for him a little bit. Perfect, Mom. That's great. That's great. I hope the Liz fans take that and run with it. So Liz has this ability to color it in for Jason because he came to the door. He was gonna knock, but he heard, hey, there's business, there's discussion, things are going on. Bother these guys. Plus, I don't want to argue with Jake. Jake's home. I don't know if he's going to accept this. It's better for me to just leave this check and move on. Elizabeth didn't let him.
Nope.
She came out with the garbage just in time, brought him inside.
She was like,
and said, you give him this check.
You get your butt in the house.
You get your butt in the house and you just give him this check. You hand it to him and you do it.
And let him decide. He's going to accept it or he's not.
Yeah, but don't just throw it under the door because you know that he's not going to take it.
And and Jason, I think Jason, what they're showing us with this is what it's true to life. When you don't see anybody for a long, long time, it kind of freezes that person in time for you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. He probably still sees Jake as a 4-year-old.
He sees Jake as a very young boy still and doesn't realize that, he's in his late teens. He can make decisions now. He can really reflect and think about things and come up with some kind of adult kind of thought.
I never think about the fact that my sister's 35, my brother's 42. Okay, I never think about these things. However old they are. Something like that, around those ages.
Your brother's almost 42. Your sister's almost 34.
Yeah, see?
Oh, you're right there. Yeah,
Close enough. I was just off a year
close
for both
enough.
of them. Like, I never, like, see, it goes to show I never think about, I know what date their birthday is, but their age, I don't think about that. My brother is still that annoying teenager, and my sister's still that bratty little tiny 10-year-old, right?
Yep.
Forever. Forever. She's got her own kid. They have their own family. My brother just got a major promotion, and he's still that annoying home run hitting teenager, you know?
Well, sure. And and I think this is a perfect example of that. Your Uncle Nathan left California a long time ago. What does he still call your brother?
Stevie?
Yes,
Because he left when he was Stevie.
because he left when he was Stevie.
Yeah.
So I think it's really true to form in that way, that Jason doesn't really think of Jake as being a old enough to go off to Spain, even though he knows it's true.
Yeah.
Even though he knows it's true, but I don't think it really like sinks in. Okay, I can like talk to this kid like he's not a child.
Because he's not. He understands things a little bit more. Elizabeth helped paint that in. Said, hey, you need to give this check to your kid. And you need, talk to him. Be a man. Right? And I got to tell you, Jason had the right things in his mouth. So, if you want to be on the side of criticism and be like, well, Elizabeth Cordy can only write for Jason. Cool. The Jason stuff is great.
And what I loved at the end of the scene too, when they went to shake hands. When they went to shake hands, I was like, "Don't shake his hand. You're his father."
Give him a hug, and he did. The words that they put into Jason's mouth, especially when you come back, I want to be the dad in which me giving you this money wouldn't even be a question. Like, it's what I was talking about over the last couple of weeks, where Jason now is able to relate to his kids because they're not tiny. We discussed he doesn't have an imagination. And when you're dealing with kids, you need an imagination. Not even to just be like, ooh, look at that purple monster over there, but to have the imagination to fake something for the benefit of the kid. Whether it be excitement or a revelation about something that you've known for 50 years. You know that water and dirt put together makes mud. You know this, but your 2-year-old doesn't. And when they discover it and they come up to you so excited, what do? Oh my gosh, what? I can't believe it. Well, let's go see what else water can do. Like, Jason can't do that.
No, Jason can't.
But he can.
He can't read the same story 30 times and use the voice for that character.
No, but what he can do is relate to somebody who thinks a little more along the lines of adult and be able to give them the benefit of his experience.
And some wisdom.
And hey, you're facing a crossroad like I did, son. This is where my life started and ended. Not in this way.
I do like this Jason, with these older kids and stuff. I do like Jason. He has way more words.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's able to reflect a lot better than he's ever have in the past. So I like the new Jason, and I still see every week, I still see the same kind of, which was missing before. I see that spark. I see that fire in Steve Burton.
Yeah, he likes the content.
What he's doing.
He likes the content. He does.
Yes.
He does. And I'm also like, listen, folks, this show is all on board with Carly and Jason in a romantic capacity. They just don't have the situation under control to go on a date.
Right, and they're not going to give us. They want the audience to yearn for the relationship. They're not going to have them right back to, okay, we almost banked and now we are gonna.
Yeah. You got to build
not
it
gonna
up.
do that.
Got to build up that anticipation, the audience yearning. That's a good way of saying it, because it's been clear. Like a couple of weeks ago, Spinelli's like, "I wish somebody would love me the way you love Carly," right? Or Maxie loves me the way that you love Carly. And then just this week on the bridge, Carly was talking like, well, great. Now that this problem is over, we can hold hands and make out, buddy. I mean, not in those words, but she was like, now, she said something about their love, like we're on board the Charlie train. We really are. It's not gonna be derailed at the last second. I think we're finally, after all these years, going to get them in a romantic capacity for longer than just a couple of weeks.
Maybe we'll see it's way down the road, but maybe we will see a Jason and Carly real wedding.
Ooh, wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't that be something?
And Sonny's there, like in red. It's like, I'm just the devil for this. I don't support this. I'm not wearing black. I'm not wearing white. I'm wearing red.
I hope he's back on his meds by then because he's going to kick someone's ass and upset.
Shows up with a P90. Ugh, awful. Ugh, ugh. But I just wanted to give some final compliments out to the Jason and Jake interaction. It's fine. When you're taking it from the Jason point of view totally and just completely ignore what they've been doing with Jake, it's been fine. Jake has been completely confusing and up and down and all over the place when it comes to his feelings with his dad. But you can just say that's teenage angst.
Yes.
You know, you can explain that away as just an emotional teenager who doesn't know, who is battling his... It's like he's like, I really love my dad, but I don't want to.
Yes.
Is kind of what Jake's been going through. Like, he hasn't been showing me reasons why I should, so I'm trying to fight the fact that I do.
And that's so teenager. That's so teenager. You know, how many times have you you remember you saying it yourself, or you reflect on hearing someone else say it? I hate my mom. I hate my mom. And then 5 minutes later, I need my mom. Where's my mom?
There's a Family Guy joke, actually, because you know how Stewie Griffin on Family Guy wanted to off his mother for the longest time.
Yes.
So he finally does in one episode. The show's been on for 20 years, right? And he finally does it. And he does it. She falls off the edge of the boat after he hits her with a harpoon or something, like ridiculous Family Guy thing. And then he's celebrating and he starts running down the deck and he immediately trips and hits his knee. Stewie does. And then he rolls over and he grabs it and he goes, Mommy, Mommy, Mommy. Oh. Because he had just killed her. But it just goes to show, you know, like you have that moment and you're like, oh, I need my mother. Oh, wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Oops. Oh, goodness. Michelle would absolutely love a Charlie HEA. I guess that means happily ever after. Sometimes there's some Twitter speak that goes into the chat.
I don't know that we'll see that because
they still got a lot of time left on this show.
A lot of time left on the show for them to have wedded bliss, for you not to be like completely bored with it.
Yeah.
You would love it for a few weeks, but then it would be like, okay, now what are they going to do now?
Jason and Carly do live such lives in which the conflict that they face doesn't necessarily have to come from one another.
That's true.
So maybe they could be happily ever after, constantly fighting the battles on the outside of their relationship.
No, it could happen.
It's dangerous, though, folks. It's a dangerous endeavor to finally pull the trigger on a long potential of a relationship.
This has been going on since 1997.
And it runs some risk because a lot of fascination when it comes to a pairing of two people is the fact that they have been circling around one another but never actually embracing it. I can point to a show called Bones as a good example of that. Bones was on for a good long time.
And those two circled and circled.
Circled and circled and circled for 7 out of 10 seasons. But they finally got together in one of those seasons and they had a baby and they got married. And
another one is
the taste of the X-Files. No. I think in this most recent one they started making out. But it runs some risk because a lot of that magic, that anticipatory magic goes away and the flavor of the show then changes. The Nanny did it as well. Charles Shaughnessy and Nanny Time got together, and that last season was them together, and she got pregnant. The series finale is them having their baby, but that last season is very different because that same, will they, won't they, isn't there? So it runs a little heat. It runs a little risky, but if they can do it, if they can pull it off, then it can be very rewarding. So cross our fingers, hope for some great GH content. That's what I always hope for.
That's what I'm hoping for.
That's
always.
What I always hope for. Days is on the upswing.
It is on the upswing.
So hopefully GH can follow them right after when it comes to being must-see daily television.
Must see.
Must see. Must see.
Yeah.
Must see TV NBC.
I enjoyed Friday's show very much. I did.
Yeah.
They
cap off the week's a lot of fun. I noticed because I had mentioned this to you before we got started. Like, this is my page of Days of Our Lives notes that you can't see nothing of because I took the light away, and then this is my much smaller page of General Hospital notes.
It's true.
Because things are rocking and rolling over on Days of Our Lives. A lot of things is happening to a lot of different people. There's some movement, some action, all that kind of stuff. Not saying that GH isn't, but GH is telling a lot of detail about a very few amount of people.
And just 2 weeks ago, if you'd have looked at Matt's notes 2 weeks ago, those were flip-flopped.
Yeah, they were flipped. It's like they do us a favor. It's like one of them hits while the other one takes a little bit of a break, and then it switches up.
It does seem that way often. It's just a coincidence because they're not even on the same network.
Oh God, they're not even on the same filming schedule.
And Days is filmed so far ahead. GH don't know what's going on over there.
No, GH is planning what they're doing by the time Days has finished filming what they're doing. You know.
Exactly.
Anyway, folks, that was General Hospital this week. It was a good time. I enjoyed myself while I was watching the show. Excited for the future. This baby's going to come out at any moment. Christina's ready to pop, right?
She is.
She pretty much is.
She is wearing that device
She's
now.
wearing that belly big time.
So. Wearing that belly.
So we got that to look forward to. We got Lucky to look forward to. We got a lot of stuff, a lot of fun possibilities to look forward to when it comes to GH. Plus, maybe Cody Mack, Tracy continuing her tour of good advice.
Yes.
She
lilifying, isn't she?
We can figure out exactly how James was able to take the phone of a 12-year-old, call a rideshare, and have that driver actually pick up this child and take them to the destination. A couple of things. Georgie's too young.
Do that, right, Matt?
Okay.
You drive
First
for
of
a
all,
living. You can't do that, right?
First of all, Georgie is too young to begin with. Because she ain't 16.
Okay.
On top of that, there is no way in heck that a driver for this ride share doesn't recognize James as an unaccompanied minor.
Right.
There's no way. I can see a case if he was 14. I can see a case where the driver's like, all right, whatever.
Oh, James is supposed to be about 7.
But this kid is a little kid, and he wasn't loaded into the car by his parents, wasn't accompanied by the parent, absolutely nothing. And even then, that kid can't be loaded in by the parent and say, hey, good luck. All right, hope you make it there. Don't kidnap my child. Like, that's not the rule.
Mm-mm.
So
I would think not. But I thought it was so cute that, he was just like, I am going to stand up for myself. I know I want these writing lessons with Cody. They're not taking Cody away from me.
It would have been more appropriate for him to have caught a bus.
Yes, it would. But that's not pertinent.
It isn't. But I guess, folks, if you were worried about your 7-year-old ordering a ride share and getting taken to McDonald's or something, it's very unlikely to happen unless you just get the most irresponsible driver.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine accepting that. Anyway, thank you, Sandra, for your compliment. She said another good episode of The 10th Floor.
Thank you.
James' storyline mimics the Rachel one on Days. No, it doesn't. Rachel is evil. James is not.
But the parallel I do see is assertive kids knowing what they want.
Yeah, that's true. Well, James is Maxie's son. Maxie's been pretty assertive.
And don't forget, he's Liesel's grandson. He got a couple ideas up his sleeve.
Not based in
reality. His grandma.
Chandra says it's not based in reality, but James did something a young Maxie would do. Well, there you go.
That's what she keeps on trying to remind Mac of. You forgave me for everything. I did so many stupid things, Mac, and you still had love and forgiveness for me. Why don't you have that for Cody? Mac's going to come around.
Oh, of course he will. He'll come around faster than Justin Kiriakis.
And I cannot wait for it, and it's going to be a lovely scene.
It's because John J. York is a lovely man.
And I like Cody so much better than when he first came on the show. He was written poorly coming on the show, but now
he's better now.
I like it.
He's better now. He's
way better.
He's better now. I like him.
And I like his romance with Sasha too.
Mm-hmm. I just hit the elevator button, calling it.
Okay. That's a slow elevator,
I know.
There's
we're waiting.
A creaker.
Only one of them works.
Somebody in there with a chain.
But even then, only one set of doors actually opens. So.
Yeah, the other set's faux. Huh.
Yeah, so we're going to get into the real elevator. They're going back down to the first floor. We're going to go into our cars that's in the parking garage, and we don't have to duck, dodge, weave, or avoid any sort of horrendous villainy in Port Charles right now. The only people who have to worry about things are personal things, family things.
Well, you might have to watch out for Valentine because he's trucking, boy.
Oh, yeah, he might be just going at, 85 miles per hour down.
Might be.
Just, you might get hit by Valentine.
He might be trucking.
Charlotte just a little bit behind, just holding on to the rear spoiler, just flying through the air.
Stop, Papa! Stop!
Papa. Oh, final comment on that. Charlotte, Scarlett Hernandez.
Played by Scarlett.
Charlotte, played by Scarlett. Listen, I'm not a professional. You have a professional acting job, and I don't. However, I find it a little odd, and this is just a character thing, and this isn't you, okay? It's just a character thing. I find it a little bit odd that Charlotte calls her dad the American Papa, and not the French, like, mi papa.
Yeah.
Because I feel as though it would be more appropriate for what they're trying to do with the bilingual or kind of French-influenced family unit type of thing, that she would refer to Valentine as mi papa and not my papa.
That's true.
Because that's not really French.
It's true. It's true. But when this last time that they'd had Charlotte and Valentine together, though, there wasn't that much influence. Where he has so much in the past spoke to her. He didn't do the little my baby girl in French kind of thing.
My Sharia more, that thing. So yeah, I don't know. It's just something that I was thinking about because she said Anna, like me and my papa, and I'm like, but it's so close, but not quite. Like if I was directing it, like that's what I would say. That's what I would point to. But that's just me. And I just feel like saying some things like that sometimes because I have a podcast and I'm supposed to talk.
Sure.
Anyway, me papa and me mama. We're getting out of here. We're in the elevator. We're turning our radios to previous episodes of the 10th Floor, which we can find on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. And if you cannot find it on your favorite podcasting platform, you can reach out to us on Twitter at 10th Floor GH, and we will send you in the right direction.
Sure will.
In the meantime, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, leave some reactions down below, leave a comment. Go to our Days of Our Lives videos that we did on Thursday for the Days of Our Lives premiere episode, and then the Days for Dummies that we just did. And what I would love for you to do, especially if you're a Days fan, is leave a comment on one of those videos about what you find to be the first stupid-ass goofy storyline from Days of Our Lives that you can recall, whether it be the first one that Days ever did or the earliest one in your memory. I want to know what you think was the goofiest crap from the 70s, I want to know.
It has a big catalog of goofy stuff.
So I would love to get your opinions on that. So Days fans, if you're out there, I know you are, go to our Days of Our Lives videos and leave us a comment there with what you think is just some goofy story memories. I would love to be able to get into some of the ridiculousness that went on in Salem history. So help us out with that. But that's it. Go spend some time with your families. I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
And we'll catch you next time right here on the 10th Floor. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.